Hey everybody, good morning. Today we're taking a look at Proverbs chapter 22, and if you remember, we're talking about advice for leaders, advice for rulers, and all that good stuff. And what I'm going to do today is tackle 4 verses here. I'm going to give them to you in order of 17, then 29, then verse 1, then verse 9. And we're actually just going to put them together to tell a little bit of story and to maybe get a little understanding of some of the principles of God and what he has laid before the foundation of the earth. So let's begin. 17 says, "Incline your ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply your heart to my knowledge." Understand. Listen to God. Get your heart ready for his knowledge. 29, "Do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before unknown men," as we've been talking about recently, that other people ought to look up to us in the job. They ought to say, "Hey, how did you do that? Hey, tell me your ideas. Hey, you always have great sales," stuff like that. But why? Why is that? But why should we excel in our work? Okay? Here's why. Because a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. Loving favor rather than silver and gold. We ought to do this, that we will have a good name, and we will in turn give the glory to God and lift him up. Say, hey, look what the Lord has done. You see, this is what he wants. This is how the Lord operates, that we do an excellent job in the workplace, that we listen for him, we go to the job, we do the job, do it excellently, we lift him up, okay? And he, in turn, we'll get a good name, and we'll probably make some good money at the same time. And then he says in verse 9, "He who has a generous eye will be blessed, for he gives of his bread to the poor." And God says, listen, even as I lift you up in the workplace, even as everyone else is staring at you, you give to the poor. You still tithe to the church. You still give to those who need. You still give of, not only do you give of your money, but you give of your time as well. You give of your talents as well. You still do all of this. And what does he say? He says, "For that generous eye will be blessed." You see, it's a cycle. Listen to God. Go do his will. Give him the glory. Help the poor. Help those who can't help themselves. And that cycle begins all over again. And in the process, you become closer to God. The favor of God begins to pour out stronger and stronger in your life. God begins to bless you more and more and more. And you get closer to God. You become more and more like him. With each and every cycle that passes, you become a little closer, a little more like him. Which, after all, is our ultimate goal, isn't it? To be like our King, to be like our Creator. So, guys, have a super day. I love you all.